Mr Chair, there is absolutely no basis for Materia Ture to come to that conclusion. In fact, quite the opposite. This government certainly does care. This minister does care, and it's because we do not want to condemn one more child in this country to the tyranny of low expectations that for far too long has characterised the previous government and those who supported them, that we are determined to act. I wonder, Mr Chair, what Michael Joseph Savage and those who worked with him in the first Labor government would think of the heirs to their legacy, because it is actually very depressing to see just how far Labor have slipped away from what the social security system was first set up to do. And, Mr Chair, this bill, this debate, shows the very clear division between the vision of the national-led government that says, let's help everyone we can out of that predicament. Let's do everything we can to encourage a much better outcome, greater aspiration, greater hope. Let us never descend to the level where we say, we'll put this group of people in the too hard basket, we won't care about them, we will patronise them with a meagre lifestyle on welfare. Because that is what, sadly, the Labor government and the Labor opposition and those who support them are arguing for by opposing the provisions of this bill. Because they've gone all over the place in this bill so far, talking about what's not in it, and they have failed to focus on what we are trying to do, and that is getting young people particularly, but those people who are trapped on welfare, into something that actually gives them the opportunity to take responsibility for themselves, gives them hope, gives them a much brighter future. Mr Chair, National is delivering on its promise, which we were elected upon, to reform the welfare system. We're committed to a system which supports people when they need it most. No question of that. Absolutely not one member of this side of the House would shy away from that obligation. But we also equally want to encourage people back into work as soon as they're able. And that is exactly what Michael Joseph Savage and the first Labor government instituted their social security system to do. That's what they had in mind, and it is the Labor Party that have moved far away from that. We've heard criticism of the Welfare Working Group, which is looking at ways to address long-term welfare dependency. Yet for some extraordinary reason, the Labor members oppose that objective. Do Labor members recognise third and fourth generation welfare dependency as a problem? I ask myself. Why don't the members opposite want to do something about that issue? Why are they willing to sit back and do nothing? Because there is nothing more hopeless, nothing more depressing than the thought of being trapped in that intergenerational welfare dependency and feeling that the politicians don't care to want to do something about it. That is not good enough, Mr Chair, for the people of New Zealand, and it's certainly not good enough for those people that this bill is designed to assist. Steve Chadwick continues to interject. When she was on her feet a while ago, Mr Chair, she said that this bill stigmatises people. No, it doesn't, Mrs Chadwick. It gives them incentives and it gives them rewards. It recognises that securing a job is the best path to security, the best path to aspiration and self-esteem. There are jobs out there. For those, Mr Horomia, who cannot find work, nothing will change. The welfare will still be there. That's what it should be there for. But the suggestion that we shouldn't be trying to help even one person into a job when it is there and when they can take responsibility is a shameful thing for you to suggest. And far from sitting there calling out shame on you, which you have done endlessly all afternoon, I say shame on you, Mr Horomia, for not wanting to do more for your people. It is very disappointing to hear my colleague Dr Prasad criticise the thoughtful and very constructive contribution, I thought the very compassionate contribution of my admirable colleague Chester Burrows, a man for whom I have great admiration and respect. Dr Prasad suggested that this bill is punitive. It isn't punitive to anyone who is incapable of securing work. Nothing punitive about it, because for anybody who's incapable of securing work, nothing will change, the protection will still be there. It isn't punitive to anyone who's capable of seeking work, but who is genuinely struggling to gain employment. They too will continue to be assisted. It actually isn't punitive at all.
I call the honourable